We're constantly told we should be happy, right? But what if chasing that feeling is actually missing the point? What if there's a deeper, more meaningful goal we should be aiming for? Well, today we're going to break down the science of building a life that doesn't just feel good, but is genuinely fulfilling.
And this quote right here, it gets straight to the heart of it. The objective isn't some permanent, smiling state of bliss. No, the real goal is to flourish, to thrive, and to grow in a way that feels totally authentic to you. It's a really powerful shift in perspective, moving away from those fleeting feelings toward a much more sustainable state of well-being. So what is this flourishing thing anyway? Well, the concept is called eudaimonic happiness. And look, it's not about the pleasure you get from a great meal or a funny movie. That stuff's great, but this is different. This is that profound satisfaction that comes from living in alignment with your core values. It's when your actions and your identity are totally in sync. That's the feeling we're aiming for. Okay, so how do we actually get there? I mean, it sounds great in theory, but how do we do it? Well, positive psychology gives us a really clear framework. 4 key pillars we can use as levers for daily change, all built on simple, actionable habits. All right, let's start with the very first pillar, US. This is all about the quality of our relationships. As human beings, we're social creatures, right? Our connections are absolutely fundamental to flourishing, and the habits we practice every day can either build those bonds up or tear them down and create isolation. Now, what's so interesting about this is the contrast. On the left, you've got these functional habits like showing appreciation or just smiling. They nourish the bond, they build trust and that sense of belonging. But on the right, you've got the dysfunctional habits, constant complaining, shifting blame. They do the exact opposite. And notice the focus here. It's all about a wounded ego, not about the us. The hidden cost of these habits? It's a deep emotional isolation. Okay, on to our second pillar, which is being. This one's about identity, meaning, and authenticity. It's all about making sure that who we are on the inside really aligns with how we act on the outside. And this just illustrates the path to authenticity so perfectly. Functional habits aren't about pretending everything's perfect. Not at all. They're about intentional growth, facing challenges, and, this is so crucial, integrating failure into your journey. Dysfunctional habits, like procrastinating or overthinking, well, they're often signs of a fracture, a real gap between who you are and who you want to be. So we have our relationships and our sense of self, but what powers all of this? Think of it like a car. A great car isn't going anywhere without fuel. In our lives, that fuel is our emotional energy. Let's call it positive chemistry. So here's the crucial point. Positive emotions aren't just nice-to-haves. They are essential resources. There's this idea in psychology called the broaden and build theory, which basically shows that these positive feelings literally broaden our mindset. They are the fuel that powers our attention, sparks our creativity, and builds the resilience we need to face life's challenges. The right habits can literally fill our tank. And right here, we can see that direct link between habits and energy. Simple actions like giving a compliment, they create a positive emotional loop, generating energy. In contrast, habits like holding grudges, they create these negative neuro-emotional loops that just drain your battery. They're a constant energy leak. Okay, so we've got our fuel, but a car also needs an engine, right? Something to translate that fuel into forward motion. That engine is our fourth and final pillar, discipline. But I want you to forget everything you think you know about that word. This isn't about restriction. It's about structured freedom. I absolutely love this reframe. Discipline isn't some punishment you inflict on yourself. It's an act of self-love. It's about being faithful to your own values and to the future you want to create, especially on those days when you just don't feel motivated. And this slide really drives it home. Functional habits, like maintaining consistency, they build meaning over time. Dysfunctional habits, on the other hand, they steal that meaning. Every excuse we make protects our short-term comfort, but it robs us of long-term purpose. Without this engine of discipline, all we're left with is intermittent motivation, not that true eudaimonia. So let's put it all together. Relationships, authenticity, emotional energy, and discipline. These 4 pillars, supported by functional habits, are the building blocks of a flourishing life. But it's so important to understand what this process is and what it isn't. So let's be super clear. This is not about trying to avoid pain or forcing yourself to be positive all the time. Life is full of challenges. That's part of the deal. And it's definitely not about turning yourself into some kind of hyper-efficient robot. That's not flourishing. That's just functioning. Instead, these habits serve a much, much deeper purpose. They help us live nourishing relationships. They empower us to grow as individuals. They teach us how to use our emotions as powerful allies. And ultimately, they are the tools we use to consciously build a life that is truly aligned with the values we actually believe in. And that brings us to the final, and honestly, the most important question. This isn't just theory, it's a practical guide. So looking at everything we've covered, from showing appreciation to facing a challenge, what is one small habit you could adopt starting today to begin your own journey toward a flourishing life?